Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, I thought we'd have a little chit-chat. Little chatty chat, story time, more of a chit-chat, right? So today is all about that question. Do you want kids? So as a girl, I have been asked this several times throughout my life, and it's kind of like the dreaded question of, do you want kids? Or better yet, when are you having kids? Now, I don't know if this is the same for guys. I've personally never been a man, so I don't know if you guys experience these same questions, but I know myself and others around me have been asked this since we were pretty young and on up. Now, I will say that this is not like the top thing that I am asked in my life right now, most likely because I am single, so most of the time I get like the relationship questions or drilled on those sort of things, right? But I have a feeling that as I age, it's going to be more and more of a topic and a question that people feel the need to ask me. So the questions of children, kids, youngsters, babies, munchkins, offspring, or my new favorite phrase that I heard the other day, crotch goblins. Why have we not always called children crotch goblins? I need to know the answer to this because it's my new favorite thing. So I am asked about kids on occasion. I have honestly been warned that as soon as I hit 30, the questions will grow and grow. Everyone wants to know about that relationship, that marriage, those babies, that fairy tale happily ever after that everyone feels the need to question you about. So I do have a few years before the full interrogation begins for me. So being the norm for society, you could say, you meet someone, you fall in love, you get married, you have a baby.
Sally and Bobby sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby in a baby carriage.
Or, you skip some of those steps and you still end up with a little one, right? This is something that people do. People have kids. It's kind of what humans do. Now, I've had questions in like Q&As, in tag videos, just pure curiosity on if I want kids, and that goes for online world as well as real life. And I'm not sure if that's something that I want. I see more and more people my age kind of going this route, kind of saying that they don't know if children are the right step for them or if they see that in their future. Granted, this isn't like a new thing for my generation. People for decades and decades have decided that they don't want to have children. This is nothing new. I just have seen this pop up in my generation in different conversations that I have with other people my age. For me personally, I just don't know if that's something that I've ever really wanted. Like, if I look back at my life, if that's something that I've really seen my future self having. Now, I'm not like saying like,
no, 100% no, I am never having children. I'm never doing anything relating to munchkins. No way.
I'm not saying that. As my life goes on, things will obviously start to change and maybe my feelings will start to shift as well. I don't know. But just looking back at the past 26 years of my life, motherhood was not something that like super jumped out to me as something I had to do in my lifetime. I know and grew up with people that wanted kids. Like, this is something that they really wanted out of life. This is like a goal of theirs, and they're fantastic parents. That's something that they wanted in their life, and that's perfectly acceptable. That just might not be my personal feelings. A lot of people like to assume when I say that I don't know if I want kids of my own, that I must hate all children.
Well, if you don't want children, then you must just hate them all. Why would you hate children? That's so cold-hearted. I cannot believe that you hate children.
Not true. I've actually grown up around a lot of different munchkins and kids, whether that be through babysitting, family members, friends, and so on. I have proof. It's not that I hate children. That's not a thing. But just because I've spent a lot of time growing up around kids doesn't mean I necessarily want to be a mom. So I just wish that it was a little bit more accepted for people to say they're not sure if they want to be a parent. They're not sure if they want to go down that route. But instead, there are a couple different things that happen when you tell certain people that you might not want children. The shaming. Shame, shame, shame.
Shame, 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 shame. What do you mean you don't want children?
I've seen this and experienced this a lot from different family and friends. The guilt of all of it.
Oh, you have to have babies or I'll be so sad. But if you don't have babies, we won't have any little ones around. It's not fair if you don't have one.
Guilting someone into having a child? That's not the way to go, folks. And honestly, that is such a shit reason to decide you want to have a child because you were guilted into it. That is horrible. You should want to start a family because you want to, not because someone else guilted you into it or it's what society says that you should be doing. And that type of guilt can come from a lot of different places, whether that be various family, friends, just people you know, a partner even. Making someone feel like that is horrible. It's a really shitty thing to do. Of course, family can mean it with love, but I've witnessed some crazy conversations where family members just harass this poor person until they feel like they have to have children or they are failing the family line. Don't do that. That's horrible. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Like, I really do not look forward to the day when some of these type of conversations become the norm in my life. I get enough questions about the choices I make in the rest of my life. I don't need to handle these ones about munchkins too. Judgy, judgy, judgy. Another thing that's really weird is when strangers feel the need to comment on your children or your lack of children. Honey, I don't know you. Why are you commenting on my life again? I think the first time that I was asked if I had kids, I was about 19 or 20. And when I was like, oh no, hell no, I don't have any kids, this lady tells me,
oh, you better get on that. You are running out of time.
I was 19. Way to ruin the rest of my 20s for me, lady. Also, I've seen it and experienced it when other mothers get extremely offended when we say we might not want kids. Now, of course, not all mothers are like this, but there are a select few that seriously get all up in their feelings about my life choices. Sweetheart, you can have kids, you can live your life, do you? Congratulations, they're probably super cute. This is honestly nothing against you or your family or how you choose to live your life. You don't have to get mad at me. I'm not going to judge you for choosing to have children, so maybe you shouldn't judge me for maybe not having children. If someone decides that maybe kids just aren't for them, that is not bashing your life as a mom. The things can be separate. My life, your life, be happy mom, don't be a mom. They don't have to mix, folks. Your life just doesn't have to be identical to mine. And honestly, why are you so concerned with what's happening with my uterus? Why is that a concern of yours? Asking the question of when are you having kids can be super awkward as well. And it can go from like a simple conversation to a very personal conversation that you have no right asking about. You don't know what that person has experienced, what their life has been like, medical problems, and so on. I think it's very insensitive when I see people asking others, like, when are you having kids? I obviously don't personally know yet, but I actually have medical problems on both sides of my family that could possibly prevent me from having kids. Like, I'm not trying to have a baby right now, so I don't know for sure, but my mom was given a pretty low percentage of having a kid. Obviously, I am here, but I don't know if that's in store for me. So say one day I do decide that I want to have a baby, and then medically I'm told that I'm unable to have a child. And then some random stranger comes up and asks me why I don't have kids yet. That is so beyond hurtful, and I've seen that happen to people before. And it's always like the tone of it too. These comments always come off as really insulting, and like you come up and you ask this person why they don't have kids or where are your kids? Meanwhile, you have no idea that this woman just went through a miscarriage. It's just kind of like one of those think before you speak. And unfortunately, the topic of kids is so relaxed that a lot of people, maybe people you know, or these random ass strangers that come up to you, feel like it's their right to come up and ask you or anyone these type of potentially personal questions. So my point is, you never know someone's story, so the next time you're thinking about asking someone that, maybe you should just hold back a little bit. You don't know what that person has gone through. In the end, it depends on so many things in my life. Life is ever-changing, folks. If I ever found a significant other, that would be a conversation between me and that person. Not other people, not what society wants, it would be what I want and the person I'm in a relationship with wants. Or if I wasn't in a relationship, if I decided to become like a single mom, that would be a decision that would be mine, not for society or people around me to tell me how to live my life. It can most definitely be hard, but I wish that it was a more normal thing to live your life how you want to and not to seek that acceptance from others or from like the groups around us. It's so hard to say, and all of us suffer through trying to fit in and looking for that type of acceptance, but sometimes it can just be such a negative thing to change or alter your life course to please others. Now, myself, I could be completely different and feel totally differently about this topic in 5 years. Or I could feel exactly the same. Life is ever changing, folks. But my current feelings, they're still very important. That's when I hate when people pull the line of,
"Oh, you'll change your mind."
Well, Karen, you don't know if I'm going to change my mind or not, and once more, my uterus is none of your concern. Don't you love that all these ladies' names are always Karen or Susan? Adopting has been something that has kind of appealed to me in the past because, if I'm totally honest, I have no interest in being pregnant, giving birth, or passing on some of my genetics onto a baby. But at the same time, adoption comes with a whole other set of things that you have to consider and think about. I mean, there's some things about the world we live in today that holds me back from wanting to raise a child in this environment. And I know that some people will be like, "Oh, it's always been like this." I disagree. There's some really shitty stuff going on in the world, but that's not my main point. This is just me looking back at the whole of my life and thinking about what I wanted for my future. Maybe I want to be the cool, crazy aunt. You don't know. Maybe that's what I want out of my life. Although I am an only child, so I would need to find someone that has siblings so I can be the cool, crazy aunt. Or I could just hang out with my cousins and I could be the cool, crazy Cassie. Cousin Cassie? Crazy cat? I think my main point is, can we try and work to just let people live their lives? Let people make the choices that they want to make? I wish that it was just more acceptable to not want children or to be not sure if you want children. Instead, every single conversation I've ever had relating to the topic, I've immediately been shammed and told that I must have children. That I have to. This is something I have to do in life. Pay no attention to what I want. What does it matter? It's just my life. No one cares. And the same thing kind of goes for the people that have children. Like, leave them alone. If they want to have children, if they want to have a family, then let them do their thing. You shouldn't be shamming or judging those people either. Like, everyone just choose how you want to live your life. Is it really that difficult? Let's stop shamming everyone. Let's stop guilting people into lives that maybe they don't want. Humans are so judgy. I will say that even if I found my true love tomorrow, children would be years away. Like, nowhere in the near future. Like, just with like my thoughts, my opinions, nowhere in the near future. Especially with how undecided I am and how I'm like leaning back from maybe that's not for me. As usual, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Do you guys have kids? Do you want kids? Are kids not for you? Are you undecided right now? Have you ever been like guilted or shammed into the idea that you must have a family? Wouldn't it be a dream if we could live in a world where we let everyone make their own life choices, free of judgment? You were living in a fantasy, Cassie. This whole video was kind of inspired by a couple different articles that I read, and I'll read a segment from one of them. Some women don't want to have children, and that's totally fine. But by asking when they're going to have kids, it's implied that they are definitely going to at some point, when every woman is perfectly within her right to not want children at all, without needing to explain or defend this. It's a loaded question that can make women feel they're giving the wrong answer to the question, when really there isn't a right answer. Dr. Natasha Bajali is a consultant psychiatrist in a hospital in London. She says humans are essentially social and family-based, and in some societies, those who choose not to have children are even looked down upon and regarded as being incomplete or even selfish. Additionally, some women are struggling to conceive and choosing to say nothing of their painful, desperate fertility struggle. So yeah, this was just a little chat that was kind of on my mind, a little ranty video, if you will, after reading a couple of these articles and comparing it to some of my life experience and what I've seen some people that I know go through with these types of questions or this type of peer pressure and guilt that I see some people facing. It's a very big decision, and I don't think that it should be taken lightly. Maybe that's why I'm still in the gray area of the maybe yes, maybe no, no, yes, no, yes. I tend to think about things for a really long time, so maybe that's a good thing for me on if I ever decide to have a family, or if I for sure just want to be that crazy aunt. Thanks so much for watching, lovelies, and I will see you in the next video.